You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another installment of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name is Kel. That's Marcus.
Yo.
That's Jessica.
What up?
Trufants, how are we feeling on this fine evening?
Tired. It's fucking cloudy. It's gloomy. Tired. How about you, Kel?
Good. It was 101 today. It was nice and sunny and clear. Had a nice breeze too. It was actually would have been a good day to play golf. Is summer officially over in Seattle? Is it done?
Damn near. It's been cloudy the last 3, 4, 5 days in a row.
Yeah. The temperatures dropped.
It's still hope. I know the sun's gonna come out as soon as school starts, and
for like
maybe shine us a little bit. But
yeah,
summer's over.
I think our summer's over. Short summer.
That sucks. Hold on, real quick before we start. Did y'all get wildfire smoke at all?
Yeah, we did.
Was it
not nearly as bad? So I guess since we weren't smoked out at the end of the summer was like, fuck it. We're just gonna fucking rain on you and just turn gray instead.
I almost feel like I'd take that over the smoke though, because I remember how bad that smoke used to get. I do not miss that at all.
It was bad. It affected our dogs, and they don't even like to go outside like that. But
the dogs really don't do shit anyway. But
one of them developed a cough, and I took her to the vet, and it was because of the smoke, and so yeah.
Kids' activities was canceled.
Oh yeah,
last year or a couple years ago when the smoke was here. Soccer practice was canceled, but it wasn't that heavy this go round, like you said. So we got through it.
Word. Hey, let's get into some topics, man. So this was an interesting question of a discussion that I had with some people at a dinner the other night, and I was like, oh, this would be a great topic for Truly to hear Mark's and Jessica's perspective on this. But the question that we phrased at the table was, how important is it to choose the right parent for your children?
Who's choosing the parent?
The right parenting style or right parent?
Right parent. So for instance, you could be in and this is some examples that we had at the table. It's like you can be in a relationship with somebody, really like them, but not feel like they may be fit enough to be the person that you want to have kids with.
I thought you were talking about kids choosing the right parent. I'm like, well, if I had a choice, just kidding. Now what?
Well, it sounds like this is somebody that already has kids and is bringing somebody new into the household or to the relationship, right?
How do you choose the right parent?
No, it's not necessarily that. Here's an example. One of the ladies at the table said the dude that she was with for a really, really, really long time, she knew that she wasn't eventually in the future seeing herself having kids with him because she saw the way that he treated animals. So for instance, he had a dog that he was kind of like abusive to. And she was like, I don't want to have kids with someone like that because
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's funny.
He comes off as a person that is probably going to hit his kids. And I don't believe in that. And so she knew like down the line, she couldn't see herself like having kids with them, because you have so many people out here who just have kids with people. It's like, oh shit, we had a kid. Oh fuck. Like, and then it ends up, not working out. I want to act like you guys, for instance, you guys had a kid pretty quick.
Yeah. Hella
right?
fast.
Super quick. Yeah.
Super quick. I would say you guys are kind of outliers though, and like the exception to the rule. But like for most folks, it turns into a baby mama, baby daddy situation. So that's where the question came, where it's like, how important is that to really like look for those values and look for those little things and nuances to make sure that you find the right person that can be a good parent, a good opposite of parent of you to your future kid, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. But I guess if you choose the right partner in general, you will know if they're going, you'll know if they're going to be the right person when you're dating them. Like you said, I think there are nuances and conversations and actions that can, solidify that not only is this the best partner for you, but that this person is going to be an amazing parent as well. I don't think it turns out like that all the time, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. What do you think?
Well, I would say it's one of those things. And like you said, Kel, sometimes you don't have a choice, right? Things happen, bang, 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 and you got a child on the way, right?
Well,
so you hope and you pray, but just like you said, dating that person, filling out the energy, and even if sometimes people express, okay, I don't want kids, but you can grow into that. I'm gonna start with my career and then I want to have a family type of situations. But everybody is not a kid friendly type of person, and sometimes and you got to deal with that. And like you said, Kel, it's kind of one of those things where it will be a choice you have to make, right? Do you want to have kids with a person that is not on it like that? They really don't have this lovey-dovey type of energy about them, but that's just how it works, man. So you don't always have that choice, and that's something that could really put a lot of stress on a relationship, right? Kids and extending the family, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what you say. Do people break up because of that?
Because of what?
Because one of the people in the relationship is not a kid person and doesn't want kids, or there's one side that's like, just like the gentleman that's hitting the dog and doing all that he's not going to be a good dad, so I got to leave him because I want to have kids. To me, it sounds
good in theory that you're like, oh,
yeah, no,
I picked up on that sign. He's going to be a bad father.
I don't know if that happens. I've never really.
I don't think that happens.
I've never really heard.
Maybe when you're older, it happens.
But maybe it should, though, because that stops a lot of heartache and stress. Even though having kids is going to be stressful, it's going to be rough regardless. But if you have somebody that already has these triggers or these things about kids and animals, you might want to think twice.
Right. I think that is something that should be paid more attention to, is how the person you're dating treats other people, or like you said, treats animals, even though we know some people are just not like that with animals. They're cool with them, but they're not like that.
That's okay.
Fuck that animal up quickly, but they have hella love for kids.
Or
so you can't always gauge how people treat animals, but I feel like that's a good indicator a lot of the time. Like if you're abusing your dog or something like that, aren't it? Why are we stuck on abusing animals? I don't know.
That's the serial killer thing, though. That's
I was thinking about that, the serial killer too. You need to start pointing out these little fucking kids that are burning up animals at a young age. Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Taxidermy and all that. Is that Dahmer? Or what show was that?
That's a lot of them.
Taxidermy with his dad.
Dahmer was taxidermy, but still, that's a lot of them. And it's weird. It's like the same mental patterns, and anyways, it's weird. But it's real.
What do you guys think about this big percentage of people in the world that don't think that deep into it? Because you have, and we've all known those people that have been in situations where they overlook a lot of things, and it's just like, well, I just love them so much, and they love me so much. And it's like, that person is not fit to be a parent. Like, and after becoming a parent, you kind of know, right? Like you know those people where you're like, I don't think that's for you. Right. What are your thoughts on folks like that just don't think that far into it? And it's about, well, it's love and I'm in love and and love is ruling over logic.
Because love rules over logic. Like, simple. Love rules over logic in a lot of cases. And if you've never had a kid, you don't know what to look for you're not even thinking about that. And again, it depends on your age, where you are in life. And so we weren't thinking about that. And is he going to be a good father to my fucking kid or something? No. And like you said, it happened. He didn't know if I was going to be a good mother. And I didn't know if he was going to be a good father, but hey, it's kind of a roll of the fucking dice. But, there are, like, again, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, and sometimes if you do know, love still rules, sadly.
I'll say this, a couple of things. So there's people who you look at, and there's people who that you date or you've dealt with that be like, yeah, damn, she would have not been a good mother, right? If I would have been with her, or if I would have stayed with her, things would have been different. It wouldn't be as great, or it wouldn't be as easy as it is now. So that is okay. But on the flip side of that, because everybody's not built to be a parent, even though they think they are, some people do hit a switch, right? Oh, this baby's in the world now. This baby is ours, so I'm going to do a 180, right? I used to be like this, and now I'm going to change. I'm going to try to change.
Sometimes, in rare circumstances.
I'm going to put the effort in to be more motherly or more fatherly. And it's not natural for everybody, and I feel like that is okay. But to say, okay, I can no longer date you because you're going to be a shitty parent to the child we bring in this world, I think that's fair. I think that is fair, and people should have that.
But at
choice.
What point do you make that assessment, or like, so then you're putting something that hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
You're not even sure.
Are you going with your gut?
You're putting that in the way of your love and your this and your that.
And that's the thing.
If everybody really used logic like that, then I think we would just all be a little bit different, but we fucking don't.
Right. And odds are, or at least to me, if there's some, let me be careful. If there's some parental, if there's some type of responsibility issues, if a person is overly selfish and can't really share in life, I guess with the kid, odds are there's probably
narcissist
issues in the relationship anyway. Not 100%, but that opens the door to a lot of things. If somebody's not, I don't know the term, if I guess if they're not parent ready, then you're a bad person. Then you're a bad person. I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm trying to say is it's like, if you are too nasty or too grouchy or unfit to be a parent, there might be some issues.
That doesn't make you I guess it's,
you're selfish. You don't want to share.
Really,
you don't have time for anything
you're angry,
else. You're
so
nasty.
You're going to be a bad parent. Again, people don't think like that.
But do you guys think that a lot of these decisions too, though, are made based off of people's own personal experiences? I mean, the saying goes, it's like you marry your parents. So it's like there's things in your spouse that you're attracted to because, the first person that showed you of the opposite sex that showed you how to love or treat somebody, like your mom or your dad, like that, they have those same traits. And so it's like you can only go off of your own experience. And if it's like, well, my dad was like this to my mom, it can go one or two ways. It can be, I want to be just like him, or I want to be nothing like him. Right. And my mom, it's like, there's things about my mom that I love, and there's things about my mom I absolutely hate. And if I find a woman that has those same traits that my mom has that I absolutely hate, I'm probably not going to want to deal with her. But if I see she has some of these traits that, that I saw the first woman that I was ever around have, like I might be essentially, more keen to wanting to date or talk to this or have kids with this woman. Does that make sense?
It does.
Kinda.
So the saying goes is the first man you ever fell in love with was your dad, because that was the man that showed
I get
you. You were his little girl. You're his, you're his little girl. You're his princess. And it's like, for instance, my daughter, I can already tell that when she gets older, her standards are going to be really, really high, because
as they should be.
Exactly. I, as a dad, has come with her with really, really, shown her, like, giving her the best of everything and the best standards of, like, like every day I ask her when she comes home from school is how her day is. And we have these talks on the drive home of how her day is. So I know when she gets older, she's going to be upset when her man don't be like, ask her how her day is. My daddy used to always ask me how my day is. You're not going to ask me how my day is. You know what I'm saying? So like just certain little things that like you just inherit from being around a person of the opposite sex that is the first person you've ever been around that you learn from. Right. So that's what I'm saying is like, do you have these people who have these weird ways because maybe because it's what they saw. It's like, I'm never going to have kids because I saw how my dad was with kids and I don't have patience with kids. You know what I'm saying? Type of shit.
Yeah.
I explain it better.
Yeah, that is a real thing, because your parents are your first teachers and your first examples and your first heroes, but not everybody gets the heroes as parents, and they don't learn how to treat people, and or they're traumatized and all this kind of stuff. And that just leads to many problems in relationships, when you're older. So, yeah.
What about, Kale, just like you said earlier, that love cures all, right? When you're in these relationships, did you say that?
It cures.
Or did Kale say that?
No, I don't think it cures all, Marcus. I think it's more of like love rules all, meaning people can get lost in the sauce. So it's like you're so lost in the sauce that you're not using logic of like, like you're getting your boots, your socks knocked off so good that everything else is out the window because she's putting it on you, and you're not realize you're getting taken advantage of, type of thing.
But even with that example, and you're getting your socks knocked off and everything is good in the bedroom. So, hey, I'm going to step up. I'm going to put in some extra effort. I'm going to do X, Y, Z to make sure that this thing's work, right? Because the relationship is going well and this is part of the family. So when I say that, like, it's on the positivity side. If somebody is looking at somebody and like, okay, damn, he's really not dad material now, but maybe throughout...
You grow together.
As I mold him or her and we grow in our relationship, we might mature into perfect parents. So I want to come back to the positive side.
Nobody is molding nobody in a relationship.
Well, you're learning each other. It might not be molding, but
I'm molding you.
You're growing and you're maturing. And molding can happen. And you got somebody that potentially could take the lead or could show.
I was being extreme. I get it. Jeez.
I'm taking it literal, but yeah, let's stay on the positive side. Anybody could be a good parent. Any couple can work out to be a good parent. They could change their ways. They could flip it.
No, they can't. If that were the case, then we wouldn't have all the fucked up shit that happens to children now.
But even with the fucked up shit that's happening to children.
Some people love themselves more than they love their children.
That's true. That's true.
I got to agree with Jess on this, because what you're saying, Marcus, sounds great. And there are situations out there.
It happens, though.
Well, no, there's situations
so for you guys
like
to say that can't
there's
happen.
Outliers.
But, but you're speaking of things that I don't think are the norm, right? It can happen, but
nobody's really, it's hard to be a parent.
Do you see two fucked up parents that all of a sudden are both like...
It's hard to be a parent.
We're going to do a 180 together and become great fucking parents.
It's hard to be a parent regardless if you're in love and got all this parent
when you are
juice and energy.
Fucked up yourself, it is very hard to be a good parent.
I gotta agree, because if I'm looking at these statistics here, that is the reason why almost 1/4, 23% of children in the U.S. under the age of 18 live with one parent or no other adult, which is the highest in the world. So you have that, and then but Marcus, you're right. You have those outliers. You have those people that do figure it out. But we have to remember, we live now in the age of the co-parent. The co-parent was not a thing 15, 20 years ago. Now, co-parent is a buzzword. It's like, oh, we co-parent. It's almost like trendy to like, oh, we're not together, but we're really great co-parents, and we both go to the baseball games and the sporting events together. Like,
that's the thing.
Co-parenting is, like co-parenting has become this like popular thing. Like, and it's because it's trying to make that situation normal. So your kid doesn't feel like
smooths over.
Right. Exactly. It's like, both parents show up.
It smooths over. Our shit failed.
Right.
And we're fucked up, but we're great co-parents.
That's the relationship. But doesn't that classify as still being good parents if you're doing a great job at co-parenting?
I agree.
I mean,
you are.
You're not living in the same household.
You don't have to be together. Because sometimes we've already determined that it can be even fucking worse if two fucked up people that should not be together stay together and raise a family.
Right.
You'll have a bunch of fucking fucked up kids.
But that's more of the relationship versus the parenting side of things. The relationship didn't work, but going back to the first example of people not being equipped to be a parent, so I'm not going to talk to you no more, that really doesn't fit.
Right. It does not. And backing it up a little bit, I don't feel like, as far as what complex is it where the son loves the mom and the daughter loves the dad? It's an actual thing. It starts with an O.
Something from Freud.
Something. It is. I don't know if it's from Freud or I think it is Umar? From Freud. No, it's not from Freud. Anyways, okay, sorry. I did not marry one of my parents. Marcus is actually he is the opposite of what my dad was.
Right. But that's what people go after too. And I think that was an example. You got trauma on one way, I guess, or the other, right?
He is
that was the example I used of like, it's one way of like, I really like this, or I want nothing to do with this.
I'm going the opposite, right?
I'm going the opposite.
Right. And not even that you're looking for it, but unconsciously, that's what you're attracted to, right?
My dad?
No, I'm saying opposite of your dad, or you're attracted to your dad, right? Or someone that has the same type of energy as your dad, right? Those traits that you might have saw growing up, you're like, okay, I want somebody that's like that. I want a spouse that's like that.
Yeah. I think that can happen, but.
Jess, I found the word you're looking for.
That wasn't in my case.
What? Oedipus?
Oedipus.
Yes. Excuse me. Oedipus.
Yep. Oedipus complex. Yes. But yeah. Did you? Am I like your mother?
Yep.
Fuck.
No, you're not.
But does she have any traits of your mom though, Marcus? Like
she does. She
like,
does. Traits like my mom. You're and you love a good time, and you're about your family, and you love your kids, and it's all about family, right?
Yeah.
And you're outgoing, you're smart, and you're on your shit, right? And that's how my mom is. So there's traits in a woman that that I seen in my mom growing up, and I'm like, okay. But one day when I get married, when I grow up, I want somebody that has some of these traits.
Right.
Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But times change and things change, right? So we do things a lot differently than our parents, and that's on purpose. And, right.
I mean, some people, oh God, that's so deep.
Some people get stuck.
Breaking the cycle. Some people some people are fortunate enough in their lifetime to get it and to break the cycle, but majority of people don't. So I don't want to say majority because I don't know, but I gather as hard as what it is to really like get your shit together and figure shit out, I don't know if everybody is able to do it.
Yeah. Do you guys think you'll ever have conversations with your kids about, you know, them picking partners when they get to that place and point of life of wanting to date and things like that, of like, hey, like, not obviously not telling them, this is the kind of person you should go for, but like, understanding, like, finding a person with values and someone that has the same values that matches their values, because I think that's one of the conversations that a lot of these parents and these people with these random kids don't have. Because like when you have the values conversation, that's when you kind of really find out if you align with somebody else, if you know it's going to be good or bad, because you find out if they're like, yo, my values are, my top values are very family oriented. I can't speak. Oriented with family and things like that. And when you find out, what is someone's values and morals and standards, you can see if that matches and aligns with yours and gives you a kind of a general idea if that person's going to be, someone that you're going to want to fucking procreate with. Because like I said, like, I feel like so many people are just lost in the sauce and just like, I love her or I love him. We kick it. It's cool. I love them for their flaws, this and all that, which is great. But I feel like you got to have that moral conversation of like, what are your morals? Do you have morals? Some people don't. You don't know how many people I've known that have gone on dates and have asked someone about like their morals and stuff. And they're just like, and they're like, they've like, yeah, they can't think that far because the relationship is so surface. The relationship has been so focused on surface that when you start to try to dig a little deeper, some folks don't know anything about it because they've never reached in that deep to ever think about that. Or they're just a fucked up person in general and like just don't have any morals, and it's just like, well, I don't really give a shit about that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I haven't been out here in the dating world for a very long time. I don't know if people actually sit down and ask people about their morals. Maybe now that I'm 42, I know. 42, I might consider asking those types of questions, but yeah, you gotta continue to talk to people, and actions speak a lot louder than words, because a lot of people say all these things that you're mentioning, the good qualities that potential parents have, and when it comes down to it, that it wasn't what you fucking thought.
Right.
So
but you got to be a good judge of character, though, at that point. I think some people are just a bad judge of character.
There's a lot of people that are bad judges of character, and there's a lot of people that can really fake it for a very fucking long time.
No, that's
so
true too.
It's like, seriously, people can fake it for a minute.
And that's psychotic. Like, that is like when you're dealing with like a psychopath. Because it's like, there's that saying of like people where, the first, like, let's say year of a relationship, or maybe even first 6 months, a person's wearing a mask. And then when you finally get comfortable and that mask comes off and you see who that person really is, especially if you start living together and you see how they live and you're like, oh shit, like, all right, I didn't know this was like this, but when you're able to like do some fucking, what's his name from fucking American Psycho?
I don't know the name.
Christian Bale's character, but like when you're just like, just keep it together, but on the low, like you're a psychopath, like serial killer. It's like
that's what I'm
like,
saying.
What?
That's
like,
what it is. Right. You prove my point. All these serial killers and mass murderers, they're out here lawyers and going to school and doing all this great shit, and they're fucking slaying people at night. So it's like you just never fucking know. But Kel, back to what you were saying about how we would approach our kids about a potential mate. Well, first of all, we will guide them, like you were saying, give them pointers. But as far as morals and interests and stuff, our kids are all different. And so what I value is similar, but it might not be the same thing that my kids value. So I would encourage them to pick a partner that is aligned with their personal, not what I think or other people, with their personal
right. Their
values and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, reiterating. And we don't really, honestly, I think that Marcus and I have set a good enough foundation and example that they should absolutely know how you are supposed to be treated in a relationship. Period. It would be heartbreaking to find out that they are, accepting less when they have grown up seeing such a positive relationship modeled for them. Mm-hmm. However, they are also, again, they are their own individuals. So I cannot say whether or not they're going to find the right mate right away. They might go through some things, but they will always remember how their mom and dad were.
What we had going on.
Right.
So the comment I want to make is that what is good for you and what is morally right and is the perfect way to move forward in a relationship isn't always what people are attracted to, right? So people get into relationships for a million different reasons, right? But it's not always for those good reasons, right? People are attracted to the bad boy or to the bad girl, or people that may be a little on the wild side, or whatever you want to call it, right? And then eventually you grow and you mature, and you hope that you don't have a child before you can get to a certain point of maturity. But everybody's not leading into a relationship with, okay, this person is a good person. They have great morals and all this other stuff. Sometimes you're just attracted to a person for surface level reasons, and that's how it starts in the beginning. Yeah. It could be anything, right?
Or
it could be the ass. It could be
love,
money. It could be anything.
I was going to say money. Oh, yeah. He's going to be a great dad.
But he's a great provider.
They are already set.
A great provider, but could be a terrible person.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
But turns out to be an asshole.
Hey, but I feel like that is like 90% of the people where I live. It's bad. Like I go to my gym and I just hear all of the stories and the tea, and there's so many people that are like it's all like older middle-aged people too. They're all getting divorced, and it's a lot. And like the men are like, yeah, man, all these women are the same. And then the women are like, yeah, he provided for me and he doesn't want to provide anymore, and I'm worth more. You know what I mean? It's all about like he had bread and it was cool. But then when that got old and the kids grew up and the kids moved out, it's like, I actually don't even like this person.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
And that goes back to where was the love and where was this thing that was supposed to keep.
Though.
I know people grow.
People change. Some people are not meant to stay married forever. Some people are meant just to do that one part. Be together to raise your kids.
Foundation, though. The foundation was broken from the gate, right? Yeah. If you get with somebody just for money, or if you get with somebody just because of the best they got.
No, I was just talking. I thought we had moved on from that. I was just talking about.
It's the same thing. I think it goes together, though. Yeah, people are going to grow apart, but if you have that foundation of that love, sometimes
I don't agree.
You can overcome.
I think you
some
have
of that
a
stuff.
foundation with love, and you start. And some people, it just.
Or you think it's love because you're infatuated with the money or the ass.
But I just said we're not talking about. It's separate from this.
Okay.
But remember, guys, we've discussed this.
Some people
Money can make you cute.
Money can make you cute.
Yeah.
I don't know if money is going to keep you with somebody for your entire life, even if they are cute, right? You're going to just waste your entire life with somebody that you don't even care for because they have money. But I bet
you're living good,
yeah.
you're living good, and she's probably
a lot of people probably go through that.
Right. A lot of people that do that.
Well, I mean,
damn.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
It just kind of is. I don't know. It's hard. It's tough. It is.
Yeah. It's hard to do anything. So that's why out the gate to say a person is not parent ready, so I can't continue to go forward is a tough call to make, right? Because it's, and you never really know. It's a flip of a coin.
And I was going to say, and the person pointing the finger, you never know if they're going to be a good fucking parent either.
That's true.
So,
but like, I mean, we can all think of situations of people that we've all might have dated or had interactions with in our past, and we knew like, oh man, this is so much fun. But then in your back of your head, you're like, man, ain't no way I'm having kids with this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like I've experienced that. Where I'm like, oh, this is the time of my life. She's a freak. We be having so much fun. We kicking it. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh man, she would never be fit to be a mother. There's no way.
Why wouldn't she be fit to be a mother, Kel?
Tell us, Kel.
Because she's a freak and she fucking has fucking fun?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Oh, Kel.
It has nothing to do with that. It's other things. Those are the things that I liked. But then there was other things where I was just like, ooh, you didn't handle that well. I see how you handle some of your situations. That's a little immature. You're too reactionary. It's shit like that. And then come to find out.
How does that translate to being a parent, though?
Because you got to have patience to be a kid or to have a kid. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain patience that come with that. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Oh, girl, the girl I'm even talking about, she went and had a couple kids with a couple different dudes, and their situation is not good at all. And I could have been one of those. You see, and I could have been one of those dudes, but I knew
dodged a bullet.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you kind of got to use your intuition and just kind of know, like, there's certain situations where you just like, nah, I'm not.
Well, I'm not. I wasn't dating. Again, I wasn't dating people like, oh, I don't like
That's
that.
what
He's
I was
not
saying.
Gonna be a good dad.
It's hard to do that out the gate because I know in my situation, I was never thinking about kids when I'm dating, right? And you're thinking about the ass, and that's exactly what you're thinking about, right? Until the opportunity shows, or you're in a long-term relationship. But even with that, Kel, with the example that you use, old girl got with a couple different dudes. Sometimes it's the dudes, and sometimes it takes a partner to bring out that other side of a person that is going to bring that parenting out or that love out.
A child can do that for some people, too.
A child can do that as well, but I'm saying
you'll learn how to be patient.
The right partner makes a difference.
You're absolutely
Kel,
right.
so you wasn't fit.
I'm not
to be with this girl.
Maybe I wasn't. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is, for me, it wasn't like I was like messing with her and like thinking about like, oh man, down the line, could I have kids with her? It was more of like, okay, I better really make sure I don't accidentally get this girl pregnant because I don't want to get stuck with all of the extra baggage that comes with it.
I like her, but I don't like her like that, or at least not yet.
Exactly.
Right? And that's fair. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's hard to, the people that do think about kids out the gate, I think that's a red flag, or that could be a red flag for somebody to come into a relationship out the gate. If
somebody asked me that, I would not talk to you.
I'm running. Yeah. I wouldn't talk to somebody either.
We're not talking about fucking kids.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
No.
You don't need to know my stance. I don't know.
Right.
No, that's real. I feel that. But no, guys, this was a good conversation. Good topic. It was interesting because, like I said, I was sitting at a dinner and everyone was kind of like stating their piece on this, and I had some very interesting responses of what some people said. And some people, like you guys said, were like, hey, you don't know until you're in that situation. And then there was some
Mhm.
folks that's just like, nah, you got to kind of peep that. So
Mhm.
There's people like that though, and I think those are people that have kids later in life. They kind of had the opportunity. They got, I guess they picked the right card, and they didn't.
They're just better at listening to their intuition.
Or they just took their time. It didn't happen for them, right?
Right. Or
Yeah.
they're listening and they're open to that kind of stuff and they pick that kind of stuff up. Everybody doesn't have that ability.
Yeah.
Trial
Right
by
on.
error.
Yep. Truly unruly, y'all. I didn't like that. I feel like that was going somewhere. Marcus and Jessica Trufant, I got uncomfortable. That's Marcus and that's Jessica. You can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform. Like, review, subscribe, leave a review. It helps us out a lot. Check us out every Sunday on Converge, and you can catch the visual on YouTube. If you want us to answer any of your questions, you can email us at trulyunrulypodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on all things social, trulyunruly_podcast. Till next time, peace and much love.